Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of my Minecraft Basics series. Hopefully this one's going to be a little shorter than the first episode where we touched on storage options in Minecraft. This one's going to be all about item transport, and especially at the beginning of the game, and how to get items from one place to another without you having to actually move them. So we're going to ignore this for now, and we're going to start just with a simple hopper. So let's remove this. A hopper is an item in Minecraft that lets it picks up items and it transports them. So if I put this item and throw it on top, the hopper will pick it up. It's basically like a hoover, and it will pick the item up and put it into its inventory. It has 5 inventory slots here, but as you can see, that is facing down. If I crouch place, so if you crouch place, because if you just click on a hopper, then it will open its inventory, but if you crouch place, then it will actually place a hopper next to the hopper. So this hopper is facing downwards, so if I throw that item in there, it will stay in this hopper. But this hopper here, as you can see by its little funnel, is actually facing into this hopper. So this hopper, if we throw that in there, it will go into here. Just to note, this series is for it's Minecraft Basics, so this series is for people who have just started out. So when I just started out, I needed to know stuff like this. I had no idea what this thing did. Like what hopper does, I have no idea. So that's what this series is for. It's just to explain to people how to do things. And let's ignore what's behind me because it's an absolute mess. So yeah, that was what this was to demonstrate. So if I was to throw this item into this hopper here, it's going to go away from this one into this one. And as this one is facing outwards, this hopper is not going to pick it up. So it's going to stay here. So if we put 2 chests like this, I can show you the difference. So if I put this item in this barrel, you can see it instantly gets taken out. And that's because there is a hopper underneath. And that hopper is facing into this barrel. So that means that it will come out of the hopper instantly and go into the barrel. So if we flick it in here, do that, it's instantly in this barrel. What also to know is if you put this in here, it takes it out, but it won't end up here. And that's because this hopper is facing downwards. So if you want to make sure that this goes the right way, you want to crouch place and put that hopper so it directs into that barrel, into where you want it to go. And now the item will go directly in there. This is just to demonstrate that, so you can see if I put the item into this barrel, like so, you think it's going to go down here and then into here, but what actually happens is hoppers prioritize sucking down, so it will actually go all the way down into the last one and then it will end up in the last barrel. So, and if we put it into here, it will stay here because there is no hopper directly underneath pulling the items out. If you wanted to pull items out of this chest, for example, you would have to break that underneath and place a hopper like so. And then that item will end up here because it will come out of this chest and it will suck into this one, go into this one, and then this one will prioritize pulling it out from above and then it will go into here. I hope that makes sense. It's a bit confusing. And this was just to demonstrate that you can do long lines of hoppers. So if you wanted, this could be 100 hoppers long and it would go in here, get sucked up, pull all the way along and go into here. That's pretty much all there is to know about hoppers. They also can lock and unlock, and when a hopper is locked, for example, if I show you this one. So if I power that hopper, if I put that in here, it can't take any items because it's being powered. So if I unpower that, now that will end up in here. But that is for a different video. That is more to do with redstone. You don't really need to know that yet. So let's move on. We'll ignore this for now as well. Basically, hoppers they can only travel items across and down. They can't go up. So that's what I built this for. This is just a simple Bubblevator. What you can do is you can throw an item in here. And what we need is blue packed ice on the bottom, which is 9 bits of ice. Or if you just go to an icy biome, can't remember what they're actually called. If you just go to an icy biome, you can find packed ice, and if you've got a silk touch pickaxe, which is a bit later in the game, it's not the very start, but you can pick this up easy peasy and no worries. So what you do is you put the item in here. As you can see, that flies up nice and easy. The soul sand is what creates the bubbles. So soul sand you get from the nether, but that is a different topic really. But it's very easy to get. Once you get into the nether, find some soul sand. And then as long as all of these blocks of water are sources, which in creative is easy, you just place the buckets. But in survival, the easiest way to do that is to place one water source at the top, let the water flow all the way down, and then get a kelp block and grow the kelp all the way up to the top, and that will create source blocks. Then you put the button here, because if that button wasn't there, then this water block at the bottom would flow outwards, as you can see there. So if I was to throw this in here, it wouldn't ever go anywhere. It would get caught in an infinite loop. But by putting that button there, which we've just lost, but by putting that button there like that, then it lets the items go across, and then it goes over. It lost its momentum, so we'll ignore that one. But if we throw that in, as you can see, the item goes up. You block it here, because if that's not there, then you throw it, and then it goes up, and it bounces up. And sometimes it gets too laggy, and then it moves, and it lands here, which is not ideal. So always just have that there, just to block it off, like so. Also, it doesn't have to be glass. None of these things that I'm going to show you have to be glass. It's just so we can see what's going on. But all of those items I've thrown up there, I've put this water flowing over a hopper, and as we just learned back there, hoppers are going to pick up the items, and now everything that we threw into there is gone. Isn't that lovely? So now I want to show you this. So this just to demonstrate that you don't have to have the packed ice. As you can see here, there's not packed ice here. But that's only if it's only flowing over a short period, because that will go all the way here. But what you do need packed ice for is what I will show you. We'll get there when we get there. Basically, if this was longer, then it would stop flowing if there was no packed ice, because what you want the packed ice for, that's what this was for. What you want the packed ice for is if we throw this diamond in here, this is going to create an infinite loop. So water flows 8 blocks and then it stops. And then here I've just made it shorter so that we can put the source and it goes all the way around. And as you can see, this diamond will go on until it despawns, which takes 5 minutes for an item to despawn. That's quite important. If an item comes out of your inventory and is an entity in the world like it is there, it will take 5 minutes on a timer that you can't see, and that's when it will despawn. But what we do, if we go ahead and place... I think because all of these blocks are packed ice, the item actually travels quite fast. But if we was to remove these and make these into not these packed ice blocks, then what you can see happens is it loses its momentum here, and then it won't move. But as you saw before, when it was packed ice, it did keep the momentum. The reason that we need the packed ice as well is because if it's normal ice, then it will just melt. So you want to keep it packed ice, because packed ice doesn't melt no matter where it is. So this was just to show you that the water flow is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the reason we put this button here is, if I break that, is if you don't, then when you place the next water source, it will flow backwards, and you don't want that. So this way you get a nice one-directional flow. And as you see, because of that being packed ice, we also get a nice... trajectory with the diamond there. So if we make all of this not packed ice like this, you'll see that the momentum for that is completely diminished. So it probably stopped just after the water. Yeah, so it just stops on that water block there, but it did fly all the way across. Another thing to show you is you can have water facing in both directions, and the reason that you could do that is if you have a water stream coming from, say, this direction, and it comes off of a farm, so say it's here, and the water is going along here, and it goes into another water stream, and you want it to go in 2 directions. One thing to note is that it will flow in that direction fine, and it will flow in the other direction fine. However, if it falls into this block here, then because it is not flowing water, the item will stay there. Just for an example as well, if I place this button, as you can see, for some reason when you place a button, or when you place something to block the water, it all becomes flowing water. But when it's going in 2 directions, this center bit doesn't move. An easy way to fix that is by breaking these 4 bits of glass. And going over here, as you can see now, if I place that in there again, exact same thing that we had built there. Oh, I put too much momentum because of the packed ice. If we throw that right there in the center, it's not going to go anywhere. But what you can do is just add this little U-bend here, and then that becomes flowing water, and then it goes round, and then you stop that bit with the button, and then it will go in the direction that you want it to go. So that's pretty much all the ways that you can use ice to move items in Minecraft. And this I want to show you. This is a bit more technical. I can make a separate video for this if you guys want, but this is just to demonstrate that you can use redstone items. So we've got droppers here, as you can see, got observers, we've got redstone torches, and then we've got a comparator, some redstone dust, and a redstone repeater. And basically what this does, if I put this redstone comparator in here, if I just show you, there is nothing in this chest in this barrel right now. If I put this redstone comparator here, it will do redstone-y clicky stuff, and then it ends up in the top. So this is how to send items up. This is important because in the nether you can't place water. If you place water in the nether, then it just like evaporates. So you can't make items flow up using this design here. You have to use something like this dropper elevator. It's pretty simple. I can go over the basics really quickly now. I think I have time. So basically, comparators read the item that goes into here. So you get a comparator reading that, and then it turns on, powers this block, which is over this redstone, which powers that redstone dust, which ignites that repeater, which powers this block, which powers this dropper, which shoots it up. And then that starts a mini clock, which powers this, which turns off the comparator. And then it basically sends a signal all the way up through here as well, because this observer is reading this redstone dust. And then that turns off that torch, which this observer sees. It fires into this one, which shoots the item up. So these are all facing upwards droppers. And then now the item is here. But because this torch turned off, this observer now turns off this torch, which this observer sees, powers that one, and then it does the whole thing. And the way it works is just because of the delay between all of the components, which is all very redstone-y technical stuff. Basically, if you don't know as well, redstone... No, we'll save that for another video. It's another video, guys. Oh, hello, how you doing? But yeah, that's pretty much all of the basic ways to move items in Minecraft. So I'm going to see if I can get that video out for you now, guys. And I will say I'm going to plug my Twitch stream down in the description as well. We've just started a new Kenoda survival series. It's a solo series I've started. And we had great fun doing day 0 the other day on stream. It was about 4 hours long. We had so many people there. It was absolutely wonderful. So if you guys wanted to head over and check that out, that would be lovely. Come say hi. And if you also want to check out, I'm going to plug the other Minecraft Basics video I did if you're just starting out. That was all of your storage options in Minecraft, and I gave a detailed description of the differences between them all. But this has been how to move items in Minecraft, and I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. So thank you very much, and cue the outro phrase.